Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. This evening we are reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 15, the Yoga of the Supreme Person. Verse number 15. Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishto matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha vedesya sarve rahameva vedyo vedanta kridveda videva chaham sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishto matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha vedesya sarve rahameva vedyo vedanta kridveda videva chaham. Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishto matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha vedesya sarve rahameva vedyo vedanta kridveda videva chaham. Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishto matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha vedesya sarve rahameva vedyo vedanta kridveda videva chaham. Mataji's Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishto matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha vedesya sarve rahameva vedyo vedanta kridveda videva chaham. Sarvasya, of all living beings, cha, and aham, I, hridhi, in the heart, sannivishtaha, situated, matta, from me, smritihi, remembrance, jnanam, knowledge, apohanam, forgetfulness, cha, and vedai, by the Vedas, cha, also, sarvai, all, aham, I am, eva, certainly, vedya, knowable, vedanta krit, the compiler of the Vedanta, vedavid, the knower of the Vedas, eva, certainly, cha, and aham, I. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta, and I am the knower of the Vedas. Purport. The Supreme Lord is situated as Paramatma in everyone's heart, and it is from Him that all activities are initiated. The living entity forgets everything of his past life, but he has to act according to the direction of the Supreme Lord, who is witness to all his work. Therefore, he begins his work according to his past deeds. Required knowledge is supplied to him, and remembrance is given to him. and he forgets also about his past life. Thus, the Lord is not only all pervading, he is also localized in every individual heart. He awards the different fruitive results. He is worshipable not only as the impersonal Brahman, the supreme personality of Godhead, and the localized Paramatma, but as the form of the incarnation of the Vedas as well. The Vedas give the right direction to people so that they can properly mold their lives and come back home, back to Godhead, back home. The Vedas offer knowledge of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, and Krishna in his incarnation as Vasudev is the compiler of the Vedanta. The commentation on the Vedanta Sutra by Vasudeva in the Srimad Bhagavatam gives the real understanding of Vedanta Sutra. The Supreme Lord is so full that for the deliverance of the conditioned soul, he is the supplier and digester of foodstuff, the witness of his activity, and the giver of knowledge in the form of Vedas, and as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, the teacher of Bhagavad Gita, he is worshipable by the conditioned soul. Thus, God is all good, God is all merciful. Antha Pravutta Shasta Jnanam, the living entity forgets as soon as he quits his present body, but he begins his work again initiated by the Supreme Lord. Although he forgets, the Lord gives him the intelligence to renew his work where he ended his last life. So, not only does a living entity enjoy or suffer in this world according to the dictation from the Supreme Lord situated locally in the heart, but he receives the opportunity to understand the Vedas from him. If one is serious about understanding the Vedic knowledge, then Krishna gives the required intelligence. Why does he present the Vedic knowledge for understanding? Because a living entity individually needs to understand Krishna. Vedic literature confirm this. Yo asau sarver veder giyate. In all Vedic literature, beginning from the four Vedas, Vedanta Sutra, and the Upanishads and Puranas, the glories of the Supreme Lord are celebrated by performance of Vedic rituals, discussions of the Vedic philosophy, and worship of the Lord in devotional service. He is attained. Therefore, the purpose of Vedas is to understand Krishna. The Vedas give us direction by which to understand Krishna and the process of realizing him. The ultimate goal is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vedanta Sutra 1.1.4 confirms this in the following word: Tattva Samanvayat. One can attain perfection in 3 stages. By understanding Vedic literature, one can understand his relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By performing the different process, one can approach him, and at the end, one can attain the supreme goal, who is no other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In this verse, the purpose of the Vedas, the understanding of the Vedas, and the goal of the Vedas are clearly defined. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmritamena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Hare Krishna. So this is a very wonderful verse. So actually this should be known by all the living entities. Unfortunately, very few people can understand this verse, especially those so-called educated people in Western countries. So here Krishna, he is giving us 2 aspects. The first part, this sloka has 2 parts. The first part, Krishna explains about the jiva, how he is giving him a chance to enjoy. The first part. Then second part, Krishna explains that how a jiva can attain him. So this basically this verse is divided into two parts. So I'll try to focus on the first part today, because next the 5 verses coming, the 16 to 20, they will be basically on Purushottama Yoga. So we can understand how Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Etecha amsa kalapumsa Krishnastu Bhagwan Swayam. So this chapter is called Purushottama Yoga. That means Krishna is the only Supreme Lord, no one else. That we should know. And all the next 5 verses, they will put more knowledge or light on how Krishna is the Supreme, how Krishna is doing everything. So here, the first part is, Krishna explains, Sarvasya Cham Hridhi Sannivisto. Sanni means very nearest. In material world, we have so many near and dear friends. They come to all our programs, they reciprocate with us. But we should know that Lord is seated within the heart. No one can go into our heart. Even if a surgeon, if he is doing a surgery, at the most he may break open our heart, or he may do some bypass, other things. But he can't enter into the heart. So we should know the Lord is seated within our heart with the soul. Like the analogy is given, 2 birds seated on a tree. One bird he is enjoying, the other bird is just the Supreme Lord, who is a witness. Prabhupada, he explains. So since time immemorial, we should know whatever we are doing. Like in today's world, we have cameras, CCTV. So you can record for number of days, months, like that. So whatever is happening at a certain place, it is being recorded. Whatever is happening, it is being recorded by that CCTV. So similarly, we should know the Lord being seated within our heart, and He is very merciful. So He knows what is the need, what is our need, and He is all pervading. And also the Lord, He knows past, present and future. So the Lord knows what was my past life, what is my present life, and what is my future life. So last time I had told the story of Dhritarashtra. So Dhritarashtra, he inquired how he is suffering, why he is suffering in this life. So Krishna, he reminded him how in his 50 lifetime backs he was a hunter. So we should know. So when we read scriptures, and we get many references how Krishna, he gives us remembrance, knowledge and forgetfulness. So in Mahabharata there are lot many stories. During the Mahabharata war, 18 days war, Krishna was practically giving all the hint to all the warriors, especially Arjuna. He knew everything, what is past, present and future, what will happen. So I'll just quote 2 episodes. So one episode is that, so one day in when the war got finished in the night, Duryodhana, he was tormenting Bhishma Dev that you are taking the part of Pandavas, and what I feel that we are going to lose, and you are taking the side of Pandavas. It is not good, because we are taking care of you. So that day what happened, Bhishma, he became little angry, and he said, yes, I take an oath with this my 5 celestial weapons, tomorrow I'll finish all the 5 Pandavas. So they immediately, because Krishna is seated in his heart, Krishna could understand what oath he has taken. So that time Arjuna was sleeping, he was in deep sleep. So Krishna, he came to Arjuna and he told, this is what is the problem now. So what you do, he told Arjuna that when you were in the forest, 14 years forest, one time you rescued Duryodhana from the Gandharvas. And Duryodhana, being your senior, he told that ask for a boon, and you said no, when the time comes I'll ask for the boon. So now Krishna, he reminded Arjuna, now it is the time you should go and ask from Duryodhana for these 5 arrows, because Duryodhana has kept the 5 arrows next day to give Bhishma Dev in the war, because Bhishma may change his plan in the middle of the night again. So Krishna, he sent Arjuna to Duryodhana. And when Arjuna came to Duryodhana, Duryodhana was very happy, and he told, yes, Arjuna, you tell me. He hugged Arjuna and he told me, you ask for anything, I am ready to do. If you want, I can stop the war also. So Arjuna said, that is what is not required. But one time you promised me for one boon, so why don't you give me the 5 arrows? So Duryodhana, being a king, Kshatriya, in the olden time they used to keep words, you know. A Kshatriya means, even a Brahmana means one who keeps his word. So reluctantly he had to give these 5 arrows. So this way there are lot many stories in Mahabharata if we read. So practically Krishna is giving on the right time the right knowledge to the right person. So what happened? Also we being conditioned soul, sometimes what we think is I am the doer. So when the war got over on the 18th day, when Krishna and Arjuna they returned back to their tent where they were staying for that night. So it was about to get the sunset. So that time what happened, Arjuna was little proud. Yes, see, I have won the war. So what he told Krishna, usually it is the duty of the charioteer to get down first, then the warrior gets down later on because he's sitting back on the top. So that day what happened, Arjuna, what he told Krishna, he didn't get down. And Arjuna, he told Krishna, why don't you get down? So Krishna, he told, no, today you have to get down first. But Arjuna was telling Krishna, no, you get down first. So this way back and forth, then ultimately Krishna said, no, I told you, you get on first. So Arjuna, he got down and he went little away. So and he was watching what Krishna will do. The moment Krishna got down, the chariot, it went into flames and it burnt completely into ashes. So that time Arjuna was totally mesmerized. He couldn't understand what was the reason. So then Krishna, because he knew what is going to happen. So this way, what if we see, there are so many pastime stories in the scriptures. So they explain basically how Krishna is giving us the knowledge. Remembrance, knowledge, then forgetfulness also is Krishna giving. So here 3 things are there. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivisto. Krishna explains matta smriti. Smriti means, that is the first thing what Krishna is explaining remembrance. Now every day all the living entities, we go to sleep because we have to rest. So the material nature is made in such a way that 12 hours day, 12 hours night. So what happens once the night falls nowadays, because the human beings, they are little advanced in science, so we go to sleep sometimes late night, whatever it is. But when we go to sleep, so we don't know what is happening with our body. Practically, like this morning I was at Govardhan and I had one very bad dream that one aircraft is crashing. It is around 1:30 in the night, because 2 o'clock I had to get up and go for the parikrama. So that one dream I remember still. So what happens when we go to sleep? So practically we are dreaming so many things. It is mentioned like our mind is more active when we are in sleeping condition. Our mind is more active than when you are active daytime. Our mind is not that active. Still our mind generates 10,000 thoughts in the day. But since what they explain, experts about the mind, what they explain, our mind is, there is a one state of mind when we sleep. It is called REM, rapid. There is one eye moment, rapid eye moment, REM. In that state, what they explain, our sleep is divided into 3 parts: first, second, and third. So this way, what they explain, that our mind is more active during the sleep. So whatever it is, we should know that when we get up in the morning, the first thing is that I remember what I have to do for the day. Like for me, I know, yes, I should take my shower and go and wake up the deities. That is the first thing. If I get the Alzheimer's disease, then gone. Somebody has to tell me, okay, you go to the deity room, you have to, this is your service. Sometimes we give people reminder, In material world, what we see, today's medical, today's science, technology, we have so many reminders in our computer, we have calendar, desktop, so many things. And so many reminders we put. We paste it on the table, bathroom, so many things we do. Remembrance, just for remembrance. Like one time I had gone to South India Yatra at Simhachalam. There are Lord Narsinghdev's pastime places are there. And there is one temple of Lord Narsingdev. So every day one cow comes there. And just after seeing the cow only, Narsingdev, he gives the darshan. So the cow, she is given the first entrance by the pujari there. And till the time she doesn't come, nothing happens in that temple practically. And every day that cow comes. And if we see, forget about mankind, even animals also, after a certain period of time, they also start remembering certain things. And they will come, like for cows, if you feed everyday cow, it will come at exact same time. I have one devotee in Bombay. So he feeds the parrots. And these parrots, they come to his window, every day and at same time. And what we see in the morning, when there is a sunrise, morning hours, practically all the living entities, they get up. From birds to insects to all the living entities. And you see in the morning, so many birds are flying in different directions. East, west, south, north, northeast, southeast, whatever it is. So who's guiding them? Who's guiding them? Okay, this day you have to go in this direction, that direction. Yeah, that is Paramatma. Yeah, that is what we should know. Medical science, they can't explain this. Medical science. And if you see, this is just I am telling about the birds. If you see about the fishes, there are fishes, they are migrating, 10,000, 20,000, like this blue whales and all. So if you go in depth, they are going in very depth. And some animals, even they take the revenge, especially snakes, elephants. If somebody harms them, they remember. And they will certainly take a revenge as and when the time is ripe. So this way, what we see in the material world, practically the remembrance, the moment we get up, that's why we are told, and the moment we get up, we should offer the Lord our prayers, and we should be grateful for this. Practically, material world, what we see, people are ungrateful. They don't understand how Krishna is giving us the remembrance. The day, with the beginning of the day in the morning, when I get up, if I don't know what I have to do for the day, if my memory is gone, so it will be a very chaotic thing. So hardly anyone realizes what is happening. And Krishna is telling first, that is remembrance. We should know that in material world, each individual soul, from any species of life, Krishna is giving him the right time, right direction, right motive, what to do, when to do, how to do. So this way, it is very important to know that from Krishna the remembrance is coming. Yes, Krishna is giving us the remembrance. Then Krishna explains, then knowledge. Okay, after remembrance, I should know the knowledge. What is the knowledge? Like in today's world, anyone knows what is the highest IQ? Einstein. Anyone knows what was his IQ? Einstein, he was the highest, very intellectual. Anyone knows what was his IQ rate? So the IQ is measured in certain these things, I forgot. So it is mentioned that Einstein was the highest intellectual. He was the highest intelligent person. So we have many scientists, okay, whatever it is. There is one real life story in his life. So he had his studio, and in that there was one door, big door, and there were two holes, one small and one big. So one time one small boy was visiting Einstein, and he asked, "Uncle, why there are two holes in your door?" So Einstein, he told, okay, I have one cat and a kitten. So they disturb me. If I lock my door, they just disturb me. So just for them open, just to come out, just to open the door all the while, what I feel, I have made these two holes, one for the kitten and one for the cat. So the boy, he told, "You are a fool." So now can you imagine a small boy telling Einstein, "You are a fool." So he said, "How come?" He said, "See, if you have made one big hole, the job could have been accomplished. The baby can come and the mother can come, and always the baby will be in the front, and the mother cat can come. It is a fraction of second. So why did you make two holes? The work could have been accomplished with one big hole. So Einstein said, "Oh yes, you are more intelligent than me." He told that boy. So one time, my god brother, he was distributing books in Bombay at one railway station, and devotees there in their own mood. So he was shouting Bhagavad Gita in Hindi, Tamil, Kannada, Telugu, Gujarati, like that. So he had, that time his daughter was about 5 years old. And what's he told? "Dad, why you are giving so big definition? Why don't you say in Hindi, Bhagavad Gita in your language? Everyone will understand. Bhagavad Gita in your language." So there is one true story during the British rule. That time there was a telex. That was the telex means, in the olden time there was no phone and all. About this was like 100 years back. And Britishers, they used to put Indian soldiers, freedom fighters, in one place called Andaman, Kala Pani they call. They used to put them at that place. And what happened, one time they had to send a message that you hang these soldiers, not let them go. So what happened? So the person who was receiving on the other part, so he was getting, the telex means there is a one coded language, did. So okay, I'll finish the story. So what happened, when the telex message was sent, so he forgot to put the comma, just comma. So comma means in the coded language, da, did, da. This is a different language. So A means did, da, like this. So what happened on the other part, when he received the message, he received in one word, that hang them, not let go. Are you getting? So this way they were the soldiers, they escaped from them there. So sometimes Krishna is giving some intelligence in a different way to the different people. Also sometimes our intelligence may not work. One time is a real story. So one truck, gear got failed, and one person was standing in the front. The truck was rushing and the driver was shouting, "Get lost, just move aside." But he started running straight, the truck is running straight, and he also started running straight. So he should have gone either right or left, and just to escape from the wheel. But that fellow was overrun by the truck. So material world, what we see, there are so many situations. So as far when it comes to knowledge, also like children, they are sometimes writing exam and they are studying for so many hours practically, and sometimes we want a clue, for sometimes some formulas, they don't come to our mind. So we can understand, yes, only the Paramatma, and not this our modern medication, whatever we take, Chavanprash or other Brahmi. So they are not giving us this remembrance knowledge that we should know. Then Krishna explains remembrance, knowledge and forgetfulness. So now we can sometimes ask why Krishna is giving, in a common sense if I ask, why Krishna is giving forgetfulness? So and can anyone quote why Krishna is giving forgetfulness?
We will not forget what we did in our previous lives, or what happened with us someday.
Yes.
They injure us in last life. We can just become
Yeah, of course. Because the living entity, if he remembers his past, then he will be in a dilemma. And also in the present body, he will not be able to enjoy. If I know that this what I am doing is wrong, then I will not be able to enjoy it. Like this, there is a story in the Purana of Indra. The story of Indra. He was cursed by the sage Gautam Muni. And Indra, he became a hog. And he was in one village, he had a big family, everything. So one day, Brahma, he told Narada, why don't you go and get Indra back on his post? So when Narada came there, and he told this hog that you are not a hog, you are Indra, you are the king of the demigods. So you leave this everything, Brahma has called you back. But he was reluctant. He was reluctant. What he said, no, I am happy with my present situation. So that is what is forgetfulness. In material world, what we see, like a drunkard. This was a nice story told by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. So one time one drunkard, he was fallen in the gutter, and a Brahmana was going, he was passing by, and the Brahmana, he told, so what is this nonsense? You are drunk. Do you know you will go to hell? He said, hell? Okay. Then he asked, what is hell? So Brahmana explained about the hell. Then he told his friends, Arun Babu, Tarun Babu, Varun Babu, all they drink. Will they also will go to hell? He said, yes, they will also go to hell. So then what other things one has to do to go to the hell? Then Brahmana, he told, meat eating, so many other things. Then he told there is one prostitute called Bhamini. What about her? He told she will also go to hell. The Brahmana told. So then what he thought, okay, all my friends, all my colleagues, they are going to hell. What is the point? So I'll be very much happy going there because I'll get the right company, isn't it? So this is what is conditioning of a conditioned soul, that when he is put in such a situation that he can't recollect, yes, what is happening. Because his intelligence, even some acharyas, they explain that before Mahabharata war, when Krishna came to Duryodhan, Krishna, he went as a messenger to tell Duryodhan, yes, that okay, make a peace treaty, give 5 villages to the Pandavas and they will be happy. Actually, in one sense, if Krishna could convince Duryodhana, he could have agreed, isn't it? It's very simple. Once Krishna is telling, here we can refute, isn't it? If I want, I can refute. How come Duryodhana, he didn't agree? So our acharyas, they explain, Krishna, although he told, but he was telling him not to accept his proposal. Although Krishna, he told in a good manner, but Krishna within the heart, he was telling not to accept this proposal. Krishna is deviating his intelligence. Krishna was deviating his intelligence, Duryodhana, not to accept to his proposal. Otherwise, there is no question. What we see, before the war, even Karna was told by Kunti, and even Krishna, he told, because as long as Bhishma Dev is living in the war, he is fighting the war, you can't fight the war. You are not joining the Kauravas. Then why don't you fight on the Pandava side? Krishna gave him one good alternative, but he denied. So this way, what happens, like Krishna, he is seated within the heart, and according to one person's nature and his conditioning and his future karma, what has to come out. So Krishna will give that same intelligence to that person according to right time, right place, right situation. So that what happens in the material world, because Krishna is seated within the heart and he is giving at the right place, right moment, at right time, what to do. So this way, here we should know Lord Krishna is playing a very important role in our daily activities. It is not that, yes, okay, for 1 day, 1 hour, it is not like that. Since from our birth till the time we leave this body, so Krishna is playing a very important role in our part. Also in the Bhagavatam, Kapil Dev, he tells his mother about the living entity when he is in the womb of the mother. So the living entity is conscious and he is praying to the Lord. He is praying to the Lord, oh Lord, you take out me from this situation. I am literally in the hell, because he is in the womb of the mother, upside down. And he is always praying to the Lord that you take out me from this situation. Once I come out, then I will always be devoted to you. But unfortunately, what happens? The forgetfulness comes. The moment he is born, there is a happy birthday for him from his family people. And hearing this, he forgets Krishna. But before that, as per the scripture, it is mentioned that there is a remembrance knowledge to the soul is there as long as he is there within the womb of the mother. But the moment he comes out from the womb of the mother, then the forgetfulness, because he is coming out of that situation, then he forgets. So also here, now we just spoke about the first part, so I'll just briefly explain about the second. Krishna explains, Vedesya sarver aham eva vedya. Vedanta krit veda videham chaham. Krishna explains that by all the Vedas I am to be known. Now Vedanta Sutra means end of the knowledge. Veda means knowledge, anta means end. So our acharyas, they explain, Yasmin vigyate sarvam eva vigyatam bhavati. It will be quoted in the 18th verse. So it is mentioned that once we know Krishna, so everything is known to us. Like in the material sense, when you are cooking something, so when you test one grain, you know by just testing the one grain by hand, pressing, that all other grains, they are cooked. So similarly, we should know that when we come to devotional service and when we understand how Krishna, by Krishna everything is happening. So one of our acharyas, what they explain, that before Krishna descends to this material world in his self-same body, only Krishna comes once in a day of Brahma. So anyone knows what is the duration of Brahma's day? There are 1000 Chatur Yugas, but what is the duration? Anyone knows what is the duration of 1000 Chatur Yugas? Okay, forget. So Krishna is coming once in a day of Brahma. Similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also comes. But it is mentioned in the scriptures that when Krishna is coming in the self-same form, so all other incarnations of the Lord, from Vishnu, Mahavishnu, all, so there are 6 Krishna's main incarnations. There are 6 types. The first is called Purusha Avatar. Then we have Leela Avatar, then Manvantara Avatar, Guna Avatar, then Shaktavish Avatar. This way we have 6 avatars of the Lord, 6 categories. But again, this avatar of the Lord, there are 2 types of the Lord's expansions. One is called Swamsha. Just I am giving today outline. One is called Swamsha, Amsha and Swamsha. Swamsha means that his form, his extended form. Amsha means the living entities. The living entities. So when Krishna, what we see in the Vaikuntha planet, so all the planets, if we see in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is a mention that Vishnu has 24 forms in the Vaikuntha planet. So Lord Balram is the first incarnation from the Krishna. So he is the supreme personality of Servitor Godhead. Actually, Prabhupada writes that Balramji is supreme personality of Servitor Godhead. He is not different personality of a Godhead. But Prabhupada writes that he is a Sevananda Bhagwan. He is just serving. Balramji, like this Vrindavan. Vrindavan is actually it is Balram's expansion of Lord Balram. The Vrindavan, the Braj Bhumi, is expansion of Lord Balram. When the temple is built, so what they put, Anant Shesh. Anant Shesh they put in the ground. Then they do the groundbreaking ceremony and other things. So from Balram, there are 4 Vishnu Tattvas. Vasudeva, Shankarshan, Pradumna, Anuruddha. From this quadruple, this is the first quadruple in the Vaikuntha. Then there is a second quadruple. So from their second quadruple, again, that comes from Shankarshan, the second quadruple. So from that Shankarshan, there will be Narayan. And from Narayan, there will be 3 Purusha Avatar. And these 3 Purusha Avatar, they do the maintenance. Maintenance of them is, they are maintaining this complete material universe and spiritual universe. Like in these 3 Vishnu, they are called Purusha Avatar. So Mahavishnu, from Mahavishnu's body, so all the universes. So the Vaikunthas, they are there all the while. But in the material world, what we call this Mahat Tattva, it is mentioned, the Mahat Tattva, it is a dark place. From the creation of the Lord, the entire creation, this is in corner of, in one side, It's called Mahat Tattva. So this Mahat Tattva is entirely, it is dark. But in this Mahat Tattva there are millions of universes. And these are coming from the body of Mahavishnu. So now when each universe is coming from his body, so each universe has 14 planetary system. So this way there are innumerable universes. If you, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is one pastime, like one time Brahma, he was also a little proud. Then Brahma, when he went to Dwarka to tell Krishna how everything is going well, Krishna wanted to inform him there are lot many other Brahmas, there are lot many other universes. In sometimes what we feel, yes, I know everything, but we don't know anything. So what happened, that Brahma then later on realized, when Krishna called all other Brahmas, he could understand, yes, there are other big Brahmas. So all these universes, each universe is being taken by Garbhodakshai Vishnu, and from his navel Brahma is born. Then Brahma creates 84 lakh species, and in each species the Lord as Paramatma. Again, what we see here, the first part, Paramatma, he is seated in each living entity as Paramatma, he is guiding. So here we should know that Krishna explains that Vedesya Sarver Aham Eva Vedya. That the point in studying or knowing all the Vedas is to know Krishna. Like when you go to some place, so if you want to know about something, then we get into more in-depth knowledge. So we get the refer to the manual, many other things. Sometimes we give a live demonstration. If we want to buy something, so we tell them to give a live demonstration of anything required. So here what we see, Krishna is explaining just the cause, the reason for studying the Vedanta is to know Krishna. So why we are studying Vedanta is to Vedesya Sarvir Aham Eva Vedya. So Krishna is explaining that how he can be understood by all the Vedas. I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of the Vedas. Prabhupada writes in the purport that in his incarnation as Vasudev. Vasudev is a Shaktavish avatar. There are 6 categories. So Shaktavish avatar means he is being empowered. Even Shaktavish avatar, there are 2 categories. In Shaktavish avatar, one is Swamsha, that is the Lord, his associates like Shesha, Ananta, they are the Lord's and his representatives. So other than that, there are also Jivas, they are also being empowered. They are also called Shaktavish avatar. And Vasudev is also in one category, he is also Shaktavish avatar. So in the form of Vasudev, it is mentioned in the Bhagavatam, 1st canto, 3rd chapter. Krishna Swadhama Upagate Dharma Jnana Adibisah. So when Krishna was about to leave this material world, so that time, at the same time, Vasudev, he knew now all the knowledge will be gone along with the Krishna. Like with the setting of the sun, all the sunlight goes off, all the darkness comes. So similarly, when Krishna is leaving this material world, all his potencies, knowledge, everything, his energies, they are called back, they go back. So, but what happens for the conditioned soul in the material world, Krishna being kind, what he does, he gives this knowledge in the form of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. So, it is mentioned in the Bhagavatam that when Lord Krishna left for the spiritual world, Vasudev, seeing the Kali Yuga, the forthcoming condition, so he wrote this Bhagavatam, which is like a torch light. Bhagavatam, it is mentioned, it is like a torch light, and it will give us the right path, right direction for the misguided souls in the material world. So in the 15th chapter, what it is called Purushottama Yoga means, like Krishna is called Purushottama means he is the top amongst all the Purusha. What is Purusha? Like living entity in the material world, we may be Purusha for some time. But our next life, it is not decided that what body I am going to get, either male or female. But material world, what we see in one sense, either it is a male or female, any species of life, you will see. So everyone is trying to enjoy. practically what I see sometimes. I get a very good sometimes knowledge just seeing the animals also, living entities also. So sometimes what I see, like the small monkeys or baby calves, sometimes they run behind each other. In one sense, I can't tell it in clear sense. So the male runs behind male, female goes behind female. They have a tendency to enjoy their whatever they have instinct. You know what is the instinct? So from that you can make out, yes, this is the instinct. They have that enjoying instinct. If you'll see the baby monkeys, they are also trying to enjoy in their own sense, because their senses are not developed, but still they are trying to enjoy in that one manner. So what it shows in the material world, all the living entities in different forms of life, and they are trying to be the Purusha, but they are not the Purusha. But we should know Krishna is the Ekale Ishwara Krishna. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he makes it clear that Ekale means one. Ekale Ishwara Krishna are Sabha Bhritya. All others, they are servants. Even Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he explains that Jiva Krishna Das Karlayi Viswas Artara Dukhanai. In material world, that the best formula one should know, yes, I am not the enjoyer. Jiva Krishna Das Karlayi Viswas. Viswas means, yes, make it firm. The resolution is, I am not the enjoyer. Artara Dukhanai means, he explains that, yes, then you will not be in a anxiety. In material world, people are always in unhappiness. So when we come to devotional service, we should understand, yes, Krishna is the Purushottama and he is the only enjoyer. Like recently one devotee was quoting that when Lord Varahadev he manifested, at that time this Hiranyaksha, he called, what is this Nar Adhama? This neither is this a human, neither it is one kind of animal. So our acharyas explain, yes, although he called the Lord Nar Adhama, lowest among humankind, but Lord comes in that form just to kill the who are lowest among the mankind. Although the Lord he came in that form, in the form of boar, but he came just to kill Hiranyaksha. But what they say, okay, although he used this term Naradhama for the Lord, but in one sense it is true, because the Lord comes as a in that form just to get rid of this all demons. So that is the understanding. And here what we see, Baldev Vidya Bhushan, he explains that one who understands that the difference between conditioned soul and liberated soul and the Lord, he in the concluding this thing, his commentary explains that even there are Siddha, there are living entities who are liberated, and there are conditioned soul. They are in different categories. So when we understand, yes, there is the Supreme Lord, there is a liberated souls, and there is a conditioned soul, then that person can attain the supreme destination. So Hare Krishna. So anyone has any comment? We have 2 minutes.
Why the chariot burned into ashes?
Take the mic.
Why the chariot burned into ashes?
Why? So his question is, why did the chariot burnt into ashes? So you can guess. Did you read Mahabharata? Huh? So you can guess why it got burned. You can guess. Somebody can guess. Yes, Prabhuji. You can give the mic to Prabhuji.
I never is not so clear. I think from what I remember, Krishna said to Arjuna, this chariot has been attacked by so many nuclear weapons.
Yeah, different weapons.
And only because of my presence,
it was sustaining.
I sustained it, it was intact, and you were able to fight.
Correct.
And as soon as I got off this chariot, it went to ashes. So it was meant to have been destroyed a long time ago, only I kept it.
Yes, correct. Because of Krishna, actually, all the warriors who had put their weapons, they had fired the weapon, So all that potency was holding back to burn it. So as long as Krishna was there, those weapons, they didn't have the chance to burn it. So the moment Krishna gets off it, then it will, because Arjuna is conditioned soul. So Krishna wanted, okay, Krishna is well-wisher of Arjuna. So he wanted Arjuna to get down first. So the moment even Krishna, even if it gets, when Krishna is there, even it gets fired, so Krishna is not going to get burned. That is for sure. So because for Krishna, the laws of material nature, they don't work.
Not only that, Krishna would keep the chariot going up and down just so the weapons would miss.
Yeah, so many weapons were missed.
So,
Yeah, even when Karna, he fired, there is one demon, he came in the form of a snake. And actually Arjuna's helmet, it got, and it just, fell off from his head. That time Krishna, he put the chariot in the earth by his energy. So otherwise Arjuna, he could have lost his head. So there were so many powerful weapons. So Krishna, just because he was riding the chariot in a different manner, so he was just bypassing them. But the potential was there of all these weapons.
so I just wanted to remark that in reference to forgetfulness and remembrance, it took me the whole hour to remember. They didn't have telex in those days. They had telegraph.
Yeah, telegraph.
It's a code, dot,
Yeah.
dot, dash, dash,
Correct,
dot,
correct.
dot. And that's how they would communicate.
No, actually one comes in the sound form and one comes in an electronic this thing. These are more or less same. These are five, there are 1 to 5 codes are there.
But if you actually know the code,
Telegraph.
you can communicate.
Yeah.
There are people who can communicate just on the word pipes.
Just 10 years back, there was a radio. There was one this thing, communication called radio net. Radio net means you can speak to someone by just this radio net
It's coded.
coded. Like you can just write down what he's sending the message, and you can send your message. So it takes time to learn that. Actually, just 10-20 years back, it was in existence. Now, because of latest electronics, everything, satellite communication, so they have dropped this. This is not so easy to get out from your mind. Once you learn this, because I learned it, it's still there in my mind. I learned it when I joined the Navy. So it takes like 1 year to learn this complete code. It gets ingrained in your mind. Mataji has one.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Why do we even forget slokas?
Yeah. Again, that is our tendency. Tendency is, see, with age, there are so many factors involved. If you see in South India, the different Vaishnava cult and sects, so in childhood only they train the children in such a way. If you go to Madhu Sampradaya, Sri Sampradaya, so they have so many factors just to train children, from parents begetting children, so many other things. And Sanskrit being a little tough, because we from birth we never studied Sanskrit. After coming to Krishna consciousness, we are trying to learn this thing. So in the childhood, our memory power is very high. Childhood, I seen many children, they can quick, very fast they can pick up very rapidly. So in childhood, it is possible. And whatever you learn in the childhood, again after sometimes again you can recall it, because it is there in our subtle memory. But once the age limit is gone, so again there are so many things are there. If you, in today's science, they have fast reading book, memorizing books, so many things are there. But still Krishna is there ultimately. Krishna is the ultimate factor. Okay. Thank you very much. Jai Sri Bhagavad Gita ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Jai. Hare Krishna. Hari Hari Bol. This was my spontaneous.
That's so good. So
So I should thank Yashoda.